Well, last night was 11 below. We were in Pennsylvania, but a couple of weeks ago we were in Czechoslovakia and Germany and Switzerland, and it was cold there too. But it's great. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't.
I was going to say, is there a different approach or a different mindset touring now than, say, like 30 years ago?
Well, I like playing more now, so you have to put up with that crap. I mean, we get paid to travel, not to play. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Why is that? Is that you just didn't appreciate things that much back then?
I probably didn't appreciate it, and I like the sound of my guitar now better. So if that's good, I'm happy.
What do you attribute that to, like the sound?
Well, I work on it a lot. A couple hours a day. I thought I'd be selling women's underwear by now.
Well, that's the dream job, all of us, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's still time,
Yeah, there is still time.
There is still time. And I wanted to find out, as far as, playing shows and doing the set lists, I mean,
I change the set every night.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because you're doing 2 shows here
I change it every night. I don't even know what I'm going to start with, just to keep it all fresh. For years, Mountain never changed the show, and it bored me to death. So,
Are they can the band keep up and knowing that it's going to
yeah,
be
they have no choice. That's the way it is.
And I also wanted to, I took a listen to the remasters, and definitely a fresher approach, but there was also some magic on the original ones, too.
There was, but it's a better sound quality on these, believe me. We worked really hard on it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what did you do to them?
Well, there's better machinery. We were able to EQ stuff, remix some of the stuff, tone stuff down, raise some stuff up. And so, I was much more happy with it. I never liked the originals.
Really?
Yeah, there were a lot of dull sounds in there in those days. It wasn't crisp, but these were nice and bright, without losing the edge.
Yeah. Which songs, after going through and doing the remasters, which songs underwent, according to you, the greatest change and the greatest change?
Nantucket Sleighride. Nantucket Sleighride theme from Imaginary Western. Yeah. We toned the bass down a little bit so it fit in more and wasn't such a distorted sound.
And at this point, I mean, going out touring and obviously you have this lineup of the band. What have you given thought to like what's going to be coming up for the next year? I mean,
Well, I just did a new blues album with Ainsley Dunbar that called Blues to Die For, and in the spring I'm going to England. Just me and Todd Wolfe, Sheryl Crow's guitar player. No drums, no bass, just the 2 guitars, slide, dobro, acoustic. That's it.
Now, Blues to Die For. I mean, what was the kind of premise behind it?
It's all old blues standards that I wanted to do and never thought about doing, and I had a chance to do it. Because that's what I do play the blues. That's what all this shit's about.
Yeah, I think the sound of your guitar is definitely legendary as far as the recordings and live. And I think it's often imitated but never duplicated. Getting your sound, I mean, how much...
Well, Larry DiMarzio, who makes my pickups, I used to use what's Gibson you would call a P90 pickup. It was a single coil humbucker, which was very loud but noisy. So he helped me come up with a new pickup called a Mega Drive. And the idea is, he said to me, a lot of the sound that I get is from my right hand, the attack on the strings, which I never thought about, because I leave the volume open most of the time. I just mute it with my hand and open it and mute it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that happens.
Ask you about the Woodstock experience.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, what was that like?
It's our third show. Well, the reason we were on Woodstock was because Jimi Hendrix's agent got us on the show. We had the same agent, and it was pretty good, man. We made great money for nobody knowing who the fuck we were. But it was quite an experience. I'll never forget that. I mean, everybody and their mother thinks they were at Woodstock now, but there was only about 400,000 people.
Yeah.
You'd think there was 100 million. But that was the idea.
Now, was it everything that, people
Yeah, probably.
romanticize about it?
Yeah. It was also a pain in the ass. I mean, they ran out of food, they ran out of water, they ran out of this, but nobody cared. For some reason it was okay. And we got to play on the nicest night. Although we weren't in the movie, our film got lost. So we were on the album, but I have a copy of it, but the actual footage they never able to get. But I know we were there.
And what do you think? All these years you mentioned Woodstock was. Do you think that was the highlight, or what
For
was,
me?
Yeah, what was the
No,
highlight?
playing Carnegie Hall with West Bruce and Lang was the highlight. Well, we just started the group with Jack Bruce, and we didn't even have a record yet. And we sold out 2 shows there, and it was just great. All my friends from school were there, and my mom, and then my brother OD'd that night in the audience. They had to call the paramedics. I see the lights go on. I said, oh, boy, it must be my brother. But it was a great night.
And obviously the rock industry, wasn't as built up as it is now, but I think there seems to be some kind of decline as well. The record companies reached a peak, and now I think they're in trouble.
Oh, they're in big trouble.
What do you think?
Well, it's because of computers. And, the record companies for years were making all the money. And now you can be partners with the distributor yourself. It's sort of silly. But when you're a new group, you got to give it up if you want to, get your stuff played.
Did you guys originally sign a bad deal when you?
It wasn't the greatest, but it got better.
Mississippi Queen, obviously, Mountain's known for that.
Uh-huh.
What do you think it is about that song that connects?
I think it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds of like balls to the wall rock and roll. Although in England, Nantucket Sleighride is much bigger because it was the theme song of a TV show called Weekend World, which is like a 60-minute show in England for 20 years. So people knew that song much better than Mississippi Queen over here. So I guess it depends where you are.
Yeah. And one more question I wanted to ask about the book. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to find out how that idea came about.
Well, Corky had written a book himself, and the publisher wanted to be both of us, so I did mine, and they combined the two. And it's just great stories about the road. It's not brain surgery, There's pictures in there of me and Jimi Hendrix a couple of weeks before he died playing, and Jesse Ventura was in our first video before he was the governor. It's just funny stories about everything.
Yeah. Any chance for a part 2?
Oh, I don't know. Part 1 was tough enough. I'm sure I left some shit out, but maybe one day.
Very good.
Thanks,
Great.
man.